We are the Hollow Men, stuffed men leaning together. Hello friends, and welcome back to another video here on my channel. I am so excited to talk about the episode that we'll be covering today. It's a part of the television series The Haunting Hour. But more specifically, the episode we'll be covering today is called Scarecrow, simply called Scarecrow. The reason I'm covering this is actually because a subscriber told me to check it out, and I'm glad they did because I found it super interesting. Let's dive into the episode. This episode follows Jenny, and Jenny is a young girl who is working on a farm for her family. I guess her family owns a farm, and the farm isn't really that creepy. This episode's weird. It starts off kind of normal, and as the subscriber commented on one of my videos when they told me to check this video out, they said it kind of feels like the Twilight Zone, and it does. It's very uncanny feeling. It's very just too happy feeling. But she works on a farm, and her family gives her a little section of the crop to, I guess, teach her how to be a farmer. And it's failing. The crows keep eating her corn and her strawberries, and yeah, that's kind of the beginning of this episode. You just kind of see them setting it up. I didn't really see how this was going to get creepy, and I wouldn't say this episode's scary. I would say this episode's intriguing, and you'll see why as we move forward.
Look, and my strawberries too. Now I'm never gonna have enough money to save up for a new computer, all because of those stupid birds.
Well, that's why I gave you that acre, right? See how hard it is to make a living off the land.
Jenny has an older brother named Bobby, and Bobby is kind of picks on her a little bit, but he has to go get something from the store, and they go down to the store, and apparently Jenny calls her an emo girl.
As long as Amy Kessler's working the register. Emo, Amy as I like to call her.
She's not emo.
She's so emo. Even her horses are emo.
And she is at the store, and Bobby has a crush on her. I don't know. Some of this episode felt a little like it dragged a little bit, like there was no point of it. But while they're at the feed store, this really weird guy walks in, and he's wearing a fedora or some sort of hat, and he starts saying off a poem.
We are the Hollow Men. We are the stuffed men, leaning together.
Headpiece filled with straw. Alas, our dried voices, when we whisper together, are quiet and meaningless as wind in dry grass or rat's feet over broken glass in our dry cellar.
Yeah, I know, that poem is really creepy and just unsettling and doesn't seem like it makes a lot of sense, but it really did strike a strong emotion from all the people in the room. It was really, really creepy. But when they're walking home from the store, well, I guess he just kind of left his sister there because he's driving and she's walking home. It didn't really tell you when this happened. It could have been the next day. This episode did feel a little all over the place to me, but as Jenny is walking home from what I assumed was the store, the man that was entering the store saying the weird poem pulls up next to her, and that's really all you see. And then the brother's riding down the road in his truck, and he goes, "Was that the guy at the store?" And she was like, "Yeah." And he gave her a scarecrow.
What did he want?
You want to know if we had any pests?
Pests?
Eating our crops.
Yeah, why?
You want to know if I want to scare him away? He said he had a scarecrow that would get rid of everything.
She gets the scarecrow set up, she walks away, and she comes back, and the scarecrow is gone.
You are a scary scarecrow. We wouldn't be of much help if you weren't, though. I guess you need a backbone.
This is when stuff starts getting weird, progressively weird. I wouldn't say it gets scary. It gets weird and confusing for a kid show, and you will see why. Weird stuff starts happening. The next morning, they assume that the scarecrow was taken by a neighboring farm. I don't know, playing a prank. I don't know why stealing a scarecrow would be a prank, but they assume that. I will say, you don't get a lot of action shots of the scarecrow. It's menacing looking, but it's like you don't get a lot of action shots of it. The Scarecrow does end up appearing again in the yard. But then like it disappears again, and it just gets really, really weird. And I might be skipping some details here because this episode was very confusing to me as an adult. I had to actually look up a synopsis on Wikipedia of what happened after I watched it. But the Scarecrow's gone. I think there's multiple Scarecrows. I'm really not sure. All I know is it's scary looking as hell, and I enjoy the design of it. Okay, I'm not here to get a deep meaning of this episode for children. This episode really felt like a really deep episode, and it really threw me through a freaking loop. So like, the emo girl that I talked about earlier, that girl, you know what I'm talking about. I'm all over the place, man. That girl calls up Bobby, and he's like, yo, I have a really bad feeling. I think something bad's about to happen. And yeah, and that's really all she said. And then she looks up, and standing, I think it was like a church or some sort of building, there's like a Scarecrow looking down at her. And it's really kind of eerie, but yeah, apparently it can just chill on top of buildings and get up there.
This cold feeling, it's cold like the grave, but it's not like death, and it's not like life either.
Amy, you're not making any sense. Where are you?
I'm out by the diner, but Bobby, listen to me. This is the worst feeling that I've ever had. It's like everything is there and everything is nothing, and I hate it, and I know it's coming.
What's coming? Amy, what's coming?
I don't know how it did it because you never see it move. That is what I'll say about the Scarecrow. You never see the Scarecrow move. You just see it change positions between shots. And I love that because it gives the vibe from the original Hell House LLC movie of Pinstripe. If you don't know what Pinstripe is, I'll show you real quick. I love Pinstripe.
Whoa, shit, dude. What's up, man? What are you looking at? Holy!
It gives that vibe. You don't know if it's alive or if it's being moved by some force. It gives that vibe, and it's really, really effective, and I like it. I like it a lot. So let's just get to it. She ends up, I guess, disappearing because when they go to the town later, well, Bobby goes to the town and no one's there, and they haven't found their mother and father yet. Everyone's disappearing. That's the point. Everyone's disappearing as soon as this mysterious man and this Scarecrow shows up. Everyone's disappearing.
Hello? Anybody here?
Jenny goes back to the house. No one's there. She sees the Scarecrow. She disappears too. She disappears. She just disappears. Later, the brother comes back home, Bobby. He walks in and sees the Scarecrow being all disgusting and staring at the door as he walks in the kitchen. Like I said, you never see it move. He walks past, the frame changes. It turns into the man who was in the store that said the poem, and he explains to him that the end of the world isn't going to happen with a big bang or a boom. It's going to happen quietly.
Do you understand?
No.
You will. For you'll have all eternity in which to do so. Bobby, this is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
What I took from this is he is a person, an agent that brings on the end of the world. That's what I took. These Scarecrows and this man are a person who just bring on the end times and makes everyone disappear. And that is how it ends. Well, it doesn't end like that. There's two endings to this. I actually had to research this. One ending was when it originally aired. You see him, I guess, Bobby sets the Scarecrow on fire, and he's alone in the world. Like, everyone's gone but him, and he's just in this barren wasteland.
Headpiece filled with straw.
And then another ending is you see a Scarecrow up on a post that looks like Bobby in his clothes, and then it looks like the man that went into the shop earlier. And it's confusing. It's deep. It's deep as shit. This is a kid's show. The Haunting Hour is a kid's show, and this is some deep, deep, deep stuff. Is it scary? Not really, but this episode at least. I've heard some of the other ones are terrifying. We're going to cover more on this channel, but this is some deep, deep stuff. It kind of just made me feel... Oh, my f***ing rats. If you hear any noises, those are my rats. I apologize, but let's get back to the topic. Bottom line, this episode made me think. It made me ponder. It made me question. It was effective. It made me feel weird. It wasn't scary. It was odd. It was foreboding. It was mesmerizing in a way. I would say that the person who commented on that video that said it felt like the Twilight Zone, it felt like the Twilight Zone, and I thought it was really, 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 really cool. I would recommend you checking it out just for the pure novelty of it. I've never seen a middle grade horror show episode like this, and I thought it was a fun watch. It more felt like an adult episode of something, and I really, really, really enjoy it. Definitely check it out. We have gotten some new subscribers here in the channel, and I just want to say thank you for subscribing, thank you for supporting, and welcome to the family, the Spooky Time with Jay family. We have a lot of fun over here. I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. I'm trying to make my content better with each video. I got a new computer to edit on. I'm not editing on an iPad anymore. I'm editing on a Mac. It's going to be good. I'm filming with a better camera. I'm really trying to make this a viewable experience that doesn't look cheap, and I just hope you guys enjoy the effort I'm putting in and enjoy the final product. God bless you. I'll catch you in the next video.